Welcome to No Fun Channel. I'm Felix, and I made it to the gym Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I even worked out today at home. So far, 4 days this week I've worked out. So hopefully I can keep it going. Today was a light workout compared to the 3 days I went. Monday did legs and 15 minutes total on the treadmill, and then Tuesday I did 15 minutes on the treadmill and 10 minutes on the bike. I was trying to do 15 on the bike, but my left knee started hurting, and I decided not to push it too much because there's no point in pushing it till it hurts to the point of no return. My wife did 15 and 15, so I was really proud of her. And today I worked out. I basically did all the muscles I missed. I did like the shoulders, forearms, wrists, and then I got my gym at home, so I kind of did a light workout, touching on all the muscles. So I'm trying to keep it going. I try to do a light aerobic workout as well, but I'm so tired. I think I pushed myself to the point that I'm tired. Yeah, I'm going to keep it going. I'm down to 361, and hopefully I can keep going. So, yeah, I'm so proud of myself. The hardest part is still the diet. I'm still working on it. I have my moments, and like I've said many times, I just got to not punish myself when I have my moments and just keep moving forward. But yeah, I shocked myself. Hopefully I can keep it going. I want to keep it going to the end of the year and beyond. Well, end of the year and beyond, but I'm trying to get under 300, and I wish I could just find a surgeon who would just take off my lower stomach. Because that's the only part of me that's really sticking out, that's making me look fat, is my lower stomach and my man boobs. But yeah, if I can get rid of that lower stomach part, I'll be good to go. And it's just, now physically, I can't see anything. I don't notice any changes. I wish I could see changes myself, but haven't noticed anything. But I'll just keep it going. I take that back. I didn't notice my face. My face looked different. It didn't feel or look as round as I recall it looking. So maybe that 27 pounds was out of my face. But yeah, I just gotta keep going. And now, well, one thing I noticed when I went to the gym yesterday is that they rearranged the gym, and they had wet floor signs. So I'm kind of wondering if they had a leak, because yesterday it did storm really good. So I was wondering if they had a leak. I mean, I didn't ask anyone. I just assumed they probably did. Or they moved them to bring in more equipment. So that'll be interesting to see if they bring in more equipment. When I go, I haven't been doing the free weights like I wanted to up there. But it seems like every time I think about doing the free, because we do the treadmill first, then I'm thinking I'll do free weights. And then by the time we get done, it's like the free weights are packed. It's like, never mind. Lucky enough I got free weights at home, so I come home and I'll work out with them. But I really would like to use those there because, they got more than just what I got. But I have thought about, getting the free weights that you can change the weights on, that you dial in the weights. But those things are expensive, so I don't see me buying them anytime soon. But yeah, so 4 days this week. I'm going to try to work out tomorrow too, get another light workout. So basically I'll have 3 heavy workouts and then 2 light workouts, and just keep it going. Tomorrow, if my daughter wants to cut the grass for money, so if she cuts it, I'll give her $20. But if she doesn't get it cut tomorrow, I'll cut it and save me $20. And I'm just so proud of myself, to be honest with you. It's I just got to keep at it. And again, my goal is basically lose the weight first and then worry about getting ripped. But I think I'm doing all right. And I'm also pushing myself to do other things around the house. Well, pushing myself to do things for myself, actually. Like I finally finished the cover for my second book. I just got to get it together and get it published. And then I'm also doing my sci-fi shows I think should be remade. And I put one out already. And I'm getting ready to work on the second one. I'm going to work on 2 of them. Because I want to get one ahead at least. I'd like to be 2 ahead. But at least I can get one ahead. And then YouTube channels I watch, I'm one ahead on it, but I'm about to be not want to hit it if I don't get it done as well. But yeah, so I'm pushing myself on YouTube, things I'm doing. I post them on YouTube and TikTok. I wanted to start doing TikTok more, and then I go to do it, and then I think my anxiety has come back in the sense that it's keeping me from doing TikTok. Like all of a sudden I get nervous and I don't want to do it. But I did do one thing. They had the AI speaking, it mispronounced Vegeta's name, Vegeta. So I was like, well, his name is now Vegeta. Hi, Vegeta. But other than that, I haven't really been doing the TikTok like I was at first. So the tickety talk is falling to the side, and I need to work on my anxiety. And I was talking to my mom about anxiety and stuff like that, and I realized since I stopped caring so much what other people think, my anxiety did go down a lot. But now it's to the point where I think it's coming back. It's kind of interesting. And I didn't even realize it just kind of crept up on me. So now I got to fight it and get it to go away. But yeah, I don't know how to get rid of it. I thought I was doing better, and then I took a step back. But again, like with the working out, I just got to not punish myself. So just keep moving forward and see what happens. But back to working out, I would see it's something that caught my attention one time is where I see skinny people get in shape, and then and someone will talk about how easy it is. See, you just got to get up and do it. And I'm thinking it's not the same. It's not the same as a fat person getting in shape versus a skinny person getting in shape. It's not the same. Now, that's not to say that a skinny person doesn't have struggles, especially if they're trying to put on weight. Now, if you're just trying to get in shape, it's going to be easier. But if you're trying to put on muscle, then yeah, you'll have your issues with putting on muscle if you're really skinny, especially if you're naturally skinny. Some naturally skinny people have trouble putting on the weight for muscle. But it's not the same. It's harder to lose the fat, and you go from it's one thing if you're skinny, you can still move around, you can still do stuff. But if you're fat, a lot of times your mobility is down. So you got to work on your mobility to get it back up. So there's a difference. And again, it's not to say that being skinny, go from skinny to muscular isn't difficult, but it's not as hard as trying to lose the fat. There's a big difference. I just thought that was interesting because I'm not sure why I started getting these on TikTok, those videos, maybe because I was looking at workout stuff and just like, well, I was looking at fat people losing weight, not skinny people gaining muscle. So I'm not sure why I'm getting that. But also something else I started getting was the Cybertruck stuff. And finally, I forget who it was, but someone put it out there that this is the ugliest truck out there. And it is an ugly truck. That's like the PT Cruisers or the Pontiac Aztec. Those were just status symbols to say, hey, look, I can sport an expensive, ugly car. It's an ugly car. And the only reason you bought it was because it had a high price tag and Elon Musk put it out. That thing is ugly. I thought it was a joke when he was putting that out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he put it out there. He said, watch, I'll put a high price tag on it and people will buy it. And you guys bought it. It's like, now people are finding all kinds of issues with it. It's rusting. It's in some cases it just stopped working, and so yeah, it's not worth it. I'm not spending all that money on a car. I just don't get it. And I saw someone talking about and I've talked about this myself, where it's easier to buy a car than it is to buy a house. You can spend $100,000 on a car, and no one bats an eyelash. But you try to buy a house, and suddenly it's it's like World War III. And I never got that. It's like, why is it so hard to buy a house? And I don't get it. I understand if we're talking about on the construction side, make sure everything's safe and everything. But why are you making it so hard to buy a house? If I can spend $100,000 on a car, then I can afford a house. So and that's another thing. People who pay $1,500 a month in rent are told they can't get a house. It's like, I pay utilities and $1,500 a month in rent, and you're saying I can't afford a house? and in some cases your house payments go down. Like our house payment our payments went down because we were paying a lot in rent and utilities and stuff. And we bought a house and all that went down. So yeah, it's ridiculous that they make it so hard to buy a house. But the Cybertruck is ugly. Yeah, I've been having some weird dreams too. The dream, like one dream was, it was a row of not necessarily stereotypical Asian people, but like the businessman, the businesswoman, and like the prostitute and a martial artist, and I had to fight each one of them. And I don't know what triggered that dream, but it was just weird. But yeah, I've been having some weird dreams. It's just all over the place. But and my dreams are just weird right now. I kind of wonder if it's from the working out, though, to be honest with you. You know, getting stressed out, and my brain's just trying to make sense of what I'm doing. Because it's like, you're fat, stop it. Just stay fat. And I'm like, no, I'm not staying fat. But yeah, I'm trying to push myself, keep myself moving. But one of the things where I'm pushing myself is doing more. Like with the like I said, I'm doing two things. I'm doing the sci-fi shows I think should be remade and YouTube channels I watch. And one of the things trying to get better is I was making scripts. I wouldn't say scripts, but more outlines to keep my thoughts together. Even with the podcast, I kind of have outlines just to go from point A to point B. And I believe it's helped a lot with doing that. But also, I'm still thinking about doing Reddit stories. But like taking Reddit stories and putting them all together from start to finish. Because, you know, if you're on TikTok and you listen to the Reddit stories, a lot of times they'll break it up to part 27. And then they'll change the ending. It's like, why are you changing the ending? Just stop that. And so I've been thinking about that, but I've held off on that. And I haven't done any 1 minute story. I was doing 1 minute stories, and I need to go back to doing that. I was having fun doing that. So I think I might go back to doing that. Now, the 1 minute stories, I just posted it when I came up with a story. And right now I haven't come up with anything, so I need to work on that. I wonder if that's why my creativity dipped, because I wasn't doing that. I still not really drawn either, so some of my graphic novel stuff will just have to wait. And I think this weekend I'm going to work on my book and get it all together and get it out there. And that's the other thing I wanted to do. I was going to create little ads for all my podcasts that I put out. And I still haven't done that, so I need to do it. Maybe I'll do that this weekend as well. Just sit down and get it all done and pop it out. But yeah, trying to stay focused, trying to be positive, and just keep moving forward. And hopefully, you know, I can figure something out and get it together. Because, like I said, my anxiety crept up on me, and I just don't know where it came from. It just snuck up on me. And even with this podcast right now, I had some things in my head, but I didn't have my phone or my digital recorder, and it all went away. And it's like, that sucks. And they were topics I really wanted to talk about. And then before I started, I was like, okay, come on, get it together. What was the topic? You had it? Because I was in the car and I had my phone, but it was one of those things that pop in your head and just goes away. And then it's like, I'll remember later. Yeah. Nope, didn't remember. So we'll figure it out. One of the things I did want to talk about was anxiety, which I did, but I'm still talking about it because I wonder if my anxiety is messing me up too. Because when I felt like I was over my anxiety, well, I didn't feel like I was 100% over it, but when I felt like I was dealing with it, I would create 20 things on a list to talk about in the podcast, and I only got 7. And it's like, what's going on? You know, I was doing good at this. And on one hand, you could think, oh, you're burned out. But no, I was coming up with stuff. And I would even re-talk about stuff. Like working out. I still talk about working out. Because, like I said, I'm proud of myself for sticking with it and keep moving and losing the weight. But I think it is interfering. So I'm going to have to figure out something to deal with that. Maybe I'll start drinking. But yeah, I don't know what happened, and it's weighing on me. So maybe I can figure something out. One thing I've noticed is I got a cough that won't go away, and I was going to do a nose thing, and I didn't do it. I flush out my sinuses every now and again. Actually, I haven't done it in a long time now that I think about it. But yeah, I flush. I got the electric one that flushes it out, and I bought it for my daughter as well. She uses it. Well, actually, she said she hadn't used hers in a while, but I need to go do it and flush out my sinuses and see if that'll clear up my cough. Because my cough clears up if it's warm out. Actually, it's this house. I need to go through and clean my house. Because when I leave the house, unless I'm in the car, but if I'm outside, I'm fine. But if I'm in the car or in an enclosed space, it's like I start coughing. And my neighbor's dog is going crazy. But yeah, I just need to flush out my sinuses to see if that helps. I'm trying to think. The last time I did it, flushed out my sinuses, I don't remember. I actually don't remember the last time I flushed out my sinuses. There is one thing I just thought of. It's popped up on my screen here. Is the TV show Fallout on Amazon Prime. I haven't gone to watch it yet. I wanted to watch it, but I just haven't. I haven't really seen anything on it, to be honest with you. Usually I get reviews and stuff on TV shows and everything. But for that, I really haven't seen it. The only thing I saw is some people stopped watching it because Michael Rappaport's in it. I used to follow him on TikTok, and yeah, he's insane. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not following you. But because I remembered him from other stuff, and he seemed all right. But then it's like, you've turned into that old Jewish white man that people don't like. So yeah, but I don't know. I just I don't know why I haven't watched it yet. But just yeah. But one thing I have been watching is a lot of anime. Usually I have it on in the background, and I watch some good ones and some bad ones and some boring ones. Now the really bad ones, I made it through the first episode. Some I didn't even make it through the whole first episode. I just stopped. And one, I made it through the whole first episode thinking, maybe it get better. Maybe. No, it didn't get better. One I watched all the way through, but it was boring actually. And I mainly had it on for noise. Because sometimes I have noise, like music or something going on in the background while I'm working. And, I just pause it if I have to answer the phone. But, yeah, I've been on this tangent watching anime. And right now I'm watching the one about being in another world and using a cheat code in another world and going back to his regular world and being able to still use that stuff. It's okay. I might finish it, but I'll be honest, I think it's just okay. But yeah, I used to watch Aniplex, and now I'm watching non-anime or an Animwave. I guess they're the same thing. At least that's one thing said they were the same thing, but there's like multiple animes and multiple non-anime, so it's like, okay, I don't know which one I'm watching. Apparently some of them are just viruses, and my daughter watches that stuff too, and I'm like, use a Tor browser and the VPN, and that's what I'm doing. It's like, just be careful which one you're watching. So I think it's interesting that even though we have all these streaming services, I still got to pirate anime. I haven't done it in a while, actually, because most of the anime I was watching was on Netflix and Hulu. And it's just been interesting that, I don't want to get Crunchyroll, to be honest with you. I told my wife we might need to go back to cable because as much as we're spending on streaming, and cable prices have gone down. And so maybe we'll go back to cable and get rid of some of these streaming services. But, X-Men. Hey, man, I've been watching X-Men 97. That's something I've been wanting to talk about. From the start, it's been good. Now, the animation and art style, I'm not a huge fan of, But, I could overlook it because the writing is really good. Episode 5, episode 6, those have been hitting. They hit, and they finally showed Charles in the last episode. And oh man, the whole Gambit thing, I can't feel you. It's like, oh man, I feel like I'm watching it when it first came out. Even before I read the comic books, I just became a fan of the X-Men just through hearing other people talk about it, and then the cartoons that were here and there that came out with them on it, or I watched those, and then when they actually did the X-Men cartoon, I was a huge fan, and it does feel like it just kind of picked up where it left off with a change. It feels like they're going even harder, even though they had the death in the first one, like Morph, he was supposed to be dead. Even with that, it's still hitting hard, and it doesn't feel like it's lost a step, to be honest with you. It feels the same. And it's just good. It's just a really good show. And I hope they keep it going. I hope it's not a short series. I don't know how many episodes it's supposed to be. I didn't look it up. I wish they would do 24 episodes like they used to, like, weekly show. So that'd be awesome if they did 24 episodes. I said weekly show, daily show, because it used to come on every day. I think some people say they watched it Saturday mornings, but I remember it coming on every day. I remember watching it after school, actually. But yeah, I hope it comes. I hope it is a long running show, and this is what people were talking about. Is like Marvel needs to take notes from their animation, because the animation's been hitting. I don't think they should try to do the all-inclusive universe anymore, to be honest with you, with that stuff. Just let each one be its own thing. Let the X-Men be the X-Men, let the Fantastic Four be the Fantastic Four. Let them all have their own universe. They don't all need to interact anymore. I think that's why a lot of that stuff was falling to the wayside. Now, did they make a good call with the X-Men 97? Yes, they did. And now I have some people saying, oh, they screwed up with the X-Men 97, blah, 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 blah. Like, are we watching the same thing? Because we're not. And I love how I've seen a lot of TikToks where people talk about when the skip option pops up, I think not. Like, remove it. And honestly, I haven't hit the skip either. I just let it play. Hearing that music is like this flashback. So it's been pretty awesome. And I like the way Storm got her powers back. It's like, yeah, she's about to kick some ass. So I think it's going to be interesting. And they had her in her black suit. So that was interesting. So I can't wait till the next episode. And once again, for those idiots who keep saying it's woke, one, you're using the word woke wrong. Yeah, the media and the people who have tried to co-op it have screwed up the meaning of the word woke. Secondly, if we're going by your stupid definition, the show was always woke. You're not a fan, so shut up. But yeah, so X-Men 97, let's keep it going. I want to see 24 episodes in season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's nostalgia. They got nostalgia right on this one. So it'd be nice. In one way, I kind of wish Disney did buy DC and bring back Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans on Cartoon Network. Now, don't get me wrong, Teen Titans Go has its moments, but there was with that Teen Titans, there was something about it. Bring Teen Titans back. I would love to see that series come back as well. But in Young Justice, they need to. To me, they left Young Justice hanging. They need to bring it back and finish it off. Give it a final episode. I mean, there's still a lot of unanswered questions in my opinion. But yeah, X-Men 97. That's how you do it if you're going to bring a show back. If you're going to bring a show back and pick it up where it left off, that's how you do it. So, way to go, X-Men 97. So, I was on the Tickety Talk, which I'm on way too much, and this guy is telling a story about how he's talking to someone at the bus stop, and I didn't get whether he was a kid when this all took place or what, but I don't think he was a kid when this all took place. But he's at the bus stop waiting for the bus, and he's talking to this guy that he knows, and the guy's like, "Hey, I work with your cousin," and he's telling him about, he's like, "Oh, which cousin?" He says the cousin's name. He's like, "I don't know anyone by that name." And he keeps going on and on and on. And he's getting pissed. He's like, "I don't know anyone by that name." So finally, he says, "Yeah, he lives over on such and such." He goes, "No, the only cousin I got over there, it's such and such." And so finally he got to the point, he's like, "I'm just calling my mom." He called his mom. Like, "Yeah, isn't that so-and-so?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, who's this?" And so that's his real name. And he like, it was at that moment he realized this whole time he didn't know his cousin's real name. And then he tells another story how he ran to his other cousin. They were going to pick up two girls, and he's just looking around, and he realizes his friend is pulling up in front of his cousin's house. He's like, what's going on? And his cousin comes out. Like, "That's my cousin such a..." So that's when he realized he didn't know his family member's real name, a lot of them. And I had cousins too who I didn't know there were some cousins, I'm still not sure what their real name is, because they would only call him by their nickname. And it's like, "Well, what's his real name?" It's like, you're scared to ask because they're like, "What do you mean you don't know his real name?" Like, I don't. You call him by the nickname every time I ask about him. And it's like, what is their real name? So it's like, wow, I don't know your real name. And I had an uncle like that growing up. I never knew his real name. I thought his name was his nickname, because that's what they always called him. Everyone called him by his nickname. And I saw something, my mom's like, "Well, who's that?" She said his name, just say it's John Doe. She goes, "It's John Doe." And I was like, "Who's John?" "I don't know no John." She goes, "That's your uncle." It's like, "Which uncle?" Because that's Uncle so-and-so, and that's Uncle so-and-so, and that's Uncle, his nickname. And she's like, "Yeah, that's him." I was like, "That's his real name?" I think I was in junior high when I finally heard his real name. I was in junior high or high school when I finally heard his real name. That's not a joke. I really remember that. It's like, I didn't know that. It was like, oh. And I had a cousin who went by initials, and I didn't know the initials stood for anything until I got older. Like, really? And then the two other cousins, oh, hell, I'm in the same boat. I didn't know their names either until I got older. So, yes, and he was talking about this is a black thing. So, yeah, I never knew their names. And then I remember one time there was a friend of my mom's, they called this one woman Sissy. I'm like, "Her name's Sissy?" "Yeah, everyone calls her Sissy." That's what they told me. So I'm like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not her real name." I figured out when I got older. It's like, well, what's her real name? So, yeah. So it's not, I can tell you that it's not just a black thing because they were white. It's just like, no one thinks about that because everyone calls this person by this name. But yeah, well, let's say, because I was thinking about that, what if they had to go pick up your kids and they're like, "Hey, such and such is here to pick you up." They're like, "Hey, John Doe's here to pick you up." And you're like, "I don't know who that is." Your kid's not leaving with them because they don't know who that is because you didn't never told them their uncle or their cousin's real name. So it's like, I'm not leaving with them. And then they go to the office like, "Oh, that's such and such." It's like, wait, what's your real name? It's like, oh my God. So that's a family thing. That's anything thing. But and thinking about it, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of cousins I didn't know their real names till I got older. And some of them I can't even think of what their real name is, to be honest with you. I have to stop and think about it. It's like, oh, that's the name. It's like, yeah. I thought that was interesting. It struck home. And that's one of the things when I was talking about doing TikTok more. I was going to stitch the video and talk about that, and my anxiety took over, and I just, I did that. I was like, and I ended up not doing it. So I got to go back to doing the opposite of that voice. So if I can get back to that point, I'll be good. And now today's Thursday. Normally I film on Monday, but I put it off not because of the voice, but because I was kicking my ass at the gym. And when I got home, I was so tired. I was like, I'm going to fall asleep doing this. And by the time I got the energy to do it, it was like 11 o'clock. I was like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow came. Then Wednesday, when we did I did 25 minutes. She did 30. When we did that workout, I wasn't doing anything. Oh, that's one thing. When I was at the gym, I won't lie, there were some girls. I looked, and it's just like, oh, I wasn't even trying to look. It's just I happened to look, and it's like it was right there. It's like, okay, I looked, and I was literally looking for phones and cameras, but it was right there in front of me. So I just tried not to look. I didn't want to be that creep or be called out for being a creep. But then I noticed, even though I was looking straight ahead, the girls I was looking at were looking at me. It was like, did they see me looking, or are they checking to see if I'm looking? It's like, it's almost like, hey, honey, hold up. Let me go ask them if it's okay if I look. Because my wife was there, and I'll mess with her and be like, hey, look at that girl. Oh man, look at that girl. She's like, shut up. But yeah, even stuff like that, like when someone tells me I'm cute or they like my freckles or something like that, I'll run home and tell my wife, ooh, I got options. But yeah, I just happen to notice, I don't know if maybe I'm popping up on people's For You page or something, but I have noticed people looking at me more, and my wife just tells me, you're handsome. That's why they're looking at you. It's like, sorry, my self-esteem's been destroyed. I'm surprised you're with me. But like I said, I'm cute, so I can work with cute. But it still feels weird when people look at me, so it takes some getting used to. But yeah, but I also noticed something else too, that like when I was at the gym, not just yesterday, but ever since, it seemed like some of the girls were looking around to see if people were looking at them. Like they were like, hey, look at me. I got that vibe off of them. And I could be wrong about it, but I felt that vibe come off of them. Like they're like, hey, look at me kind of vibe. Like, it's like they waited till like a certain person was looking at them, then they start working out. It's like, because I got to turn around and then the girl will start working out. And it's like, oh, that's what she's waiting for. And speaking of working out or waiting for people out working out, one of the things that I've noticed lately also, a lot of people are just sitting on machines. TikTok and all the other social medias have talked about that, just sitting on the machine. It's like, I want the machine. I don't want to be rude, but, I'll get to that point. Like, get off the damn machine. It's like, granted, there's more than one, and that's the saving grace, but when they're both taken and both people are just sitting there, it's like, someone needs to give up the machine. And I don't get what they're waiting. They're like, oh, they got selective music. Have a playlist. Create a playlist. Do you not know how to make a playlist? Make a playlist. Save us all some time. Then you don't have to pick a song. Just create your playlist. Set the playlist, to coincide with whatever you're doing. You got leg day playlist. Chest day playlist. Arm day playlist. So on and so forth. Just create a playlist and save us some time. Let us who want to work out. And you that want to listen to just want to come there and look like you're working out, go elsewhere. But yeah, just sitting on the machines, it's like, but lately, the past couple of days, I will say it's been really, really slow at Planet Fitness, and I've loved it because it was like we got the whole place to ourselves. And the leg, what is that? I still don't know the name. It's one where you push your legs open. That one, I did the whole stack. I was so proud of myself. Now, the one where you squeeze your legs in, I can still only do 150. With the one going out, I can do the whole stack. So it's like, yeah. And then the leg press, the one that you kind of stand on, that one I'm doing 260 now. So I was very happy about that. So I'm trying to get back to the whole stack because I used to be able to do 400 on that. So I want to get back to doing that. And then they have the calf raise machine. I was doing 260. Well, I did Well, actually, I did the calf raise on the leg press, and then I did the calf raise machine, and also had it set to 260 on that as well. So now the arms, I'm still barely doing. Actually, I can't even really do 50, to be honest with you. I think I can do 30-pound curls, and that's it. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Slow and steady wins the race. So this weekend, we're going to do the spreading of the ashes, and I'm not going because there may be someone there I don't want to see, but that's not the main reason I'm not going. Actually, sadly, I said goodbye to that man a long time ago when we had our last falling out. You know, I gave him a lot of chances. He blew them all. So, and to be honest, when my dad died, I didn't cry. And not really. I didn't cry over his death. I cried over the fact that man was more concerned with being right than having a son. Then he goes and calls some other guy his son, and he talks about him in some letters he wrote. And it's like, you mother effer. And it's just like, wow, I hate you people. It's like, because it wasn't just him, because then there was one of the churches put something out and talking about his family, and me and my sister weren't mentioned at all. So it's like, and so I just took it, okay, they just talk about the family that goes to that church. I get it. But they list a lot of people. There's a couple people they listed who I know damn well they don't go to that church. They don't go to any church. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, I get it. He was more concerned about other things. And I remember breaking down crying because I put a slideshow together for him. I just felt like I need to do something to be part of the thing, because my sister was taking care of my stuff. So I was like, well, I can put a slideshow together. And I did some stuff like that. And I remember doing a slideshow, and as I'm doing it, I realized this mother effer never liked me. And when I became an adult, he didn't like me. And even there's some people who even agree that, yeah, when you became an adult, he was somewhat jealous of you, and because you didn't need him no more. So it's like, ugh. But yeah, it's sad. And the reason I bring it up, because I think because it also goes with toxic people in your life, and not just toxic, friends and coworkers, but family members as well. I don't understand people who don't cut them out. It's like, well, they're family, so what? That doesn't give them the right to treat you like crap. That doesn't give them the right to be toxic towards you. Cut them out. You'll feel a lot better. I'll hear some of these Reddit stories. Like, am I that a-hole for telling my mom what a toxic, horrible mother she was because she used to beat me and put cigarettes out on me? Now I feel bad because she's crying. And I want to go find this person and just shake the crap out of them. Like, you cut them out your life for a reason. What do you feel bad for? You need to go to therapy, because you're clearly not going. And your therapist, if you are going, your therapist is doing a horrible job. Because it's like, no, you did the right thing. Snap out of it. Keep them cut out of your life and never go back. So yeah, that's what, when I was younger at first, family. But as I got older, people talking about family is the first one that'll do you wrong. And it's like, as I got older, I noticed that. It's like, it wasn't just like my family, but all families. Any family, there's someone in that family who has done the family wrong. And some family members, oh, we got to forgive them. No, you don't. No, you don't. You do not have to forgive them. I've always hated that. Even as a kid, I hated that. Why do I have to forgive them? They did me wrong. And they say, oh, it's not for them, it's for you. And if it's for me, I don't want to forgive them. I don't want to forget. I don't want to forgive. So, no, I am not forgiving them. They can kiss my ass, and I'm never going to forgive them. And there are people still today who wronged me in my 20s who I would never forgive because of the crap they pulled. I will never have anything to do with them. I don't go on my way to talk to them. I don't go on my way to avoid them or anything. But if they reach out to me, I ignore them. It's like, nah, I'm good. I remember what you did, so F off. So, yeah, it's like, do you think I'm stupid? You know, you think I'm like, oh, I've changed. It's like, that's good for you. But you haven't fixed what you did to me. So, you don't fix what you did? Well, that was a long time ago. Okay. Then it can stay in the past with you. Peace out. You know? So, yeah, people say, you got to forgive and forget. No. And I love that there was a move on TikTok, you know, this, like, stop being the better person, you know, stop going the higher road. It's like they go low, I go lower. And I agree with that. I'll be honest with you. If you're going to do dirt, you know, I'm going to grab a shovel and throw dirt on you. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get people who don't cut out toxic people. I think it's silly. Get them out your life. You'll feel a lot better. Just get them out your life. And you will notice a huge shift in the way that you feel, in the way that you act, in the way that you carry yourself. Get toxic people out of your life immediately. So now I'm going to go from adjusting my chair, getting up in the mic. Now I'm going to go from toxic people to choking to death on the Twizzler. Yes, I like Twizzler. I know a lot of people don't like them. I like them. Some people prefer Vine. I've had Vine. I don't like Vine. Vine tastes horrible to me. I know some people think Twizzlers taste horrible, but I like Twizzlers. But that aside, I was eating a Twizzler, and I felt a little tickle in the back of my throat. So, you know, finished the Twizzler, and I'm like, let me get some water. And as I'm drinking, I'm trying to wash down the Twizzler, and finally I stopped drinking. It wouldn't go down, and all of a sudden it was like, Pwah! Just all the water stopped in my throat and came right back out. It was like, it didn't even go down. So I was like, what the hell? Yeah. It wasn't, I didn't even have a chance to like close my mouth and hold it. It was just projectile. It just blew my mouth open. Like, oh, wow. And the force was just wild. And it's like, I'm coming out and you're not stopping us. The water wanted out and it got out and whew. All right, time to play Who Am I? Last week they had guests on, so they didn't do it. So let's see if I can get this one. I can't remember if I got the last one. I think I got the last one. Yeah, I think I got the last one on the first thing.
What Sarah's screaming at. Mm-hmm. I want to know what happens with Jack. So yeah, and Natalie and Close, I need to know if they make it.
Okay.
So it's
they're talking about Married
so
at
far
First
so
Sight.
good.
Cool.
Right.
Man.
Who am I?
Yes. Yes.
So let me give you guys the premise of how this one's going to work. Obviously, I know some of you like to use whiteboards or whatever. So get whatever you need to get while I explain this. So this week's Who Am I? I am an actor or an actress. And what I'm going to do is talk you through my roles in the movies I've played by giving a brief example of the movie and the role I played and how they intertwine with one
I can already see me not getting this.
another. So I'll let you know when I'm going into the next movie, but sometimes it sounds like I'm talking about the same thing.
I might get this because we play a game on the Xbox called Seen It every now and again, and they have something like that. So maybe I'll look out.
Okay.
Cool. At this point, you can stop me at any time to make a guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, who am I? This guy killed my dad, so I made it my mission to get revenge. I pretended to work for him until my time finally came. That's the first one.
That could be a lot of movies. I'm thinking of You Killed My Father, Princess and the Bride. Oh my God, what is his name? He was on Criminal Minds. Oh, I cannot think of his name. What is his name?
Moving on. 3, 2, 1.
I know who it is. Oh, no. I'm lying. Sorry, continue. I had a feeling I thought it... Continue. Because I'm going to say stuff and I'm going to be out. So it's good.
Yeah. So yeah, remember, we're not doing any, I think it's this character from this. The name of the actor or actress.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Continue.
All right, cool. And I'm going to do like 3 or 4 seconds in between movies for someone to shout something. Moving on. Speaking of missions, my next job was in Africa, getting my hands on one of the world's most valuable assets, and a lot of blood was spilt for me to do so. 3, 2, 1. By now, I've learned all about what it takes to keep a low profile and pretending to work for the bad guy. So this time, I've taken a job as an undercover cop trying to take down a mob boss, but there's a snitch on the inside.
Well, I'm thinking Matt Damon or Leonardo DiCaprio now. What was the first one? I don't know all their movies, but they both played cops and they had to take down a snitch and stuff, and they were in a movie together. Blood Diamonds. I think Leo was in that. Or no, was that Brad Pitt?
Making my job way harder than it needs to be. 4, 3,
I've got
2, 1.
If I say a name, am I out for the rest of the game?
No,
No,
Denzel Washington.
that's never been a thing, has it?
it's not Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Next. This time, I've fallen in love. I'm young, I'm dumb, and I feel on top of the world. And I know I make her feel the same way. She loves my art, she loves how I dance, and we go at it.
It is Leonardo DiCaprio. Is it Leonardo? It is Leonardo. I don't even remember his full name. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Until the windows steam up. If we survive this, we're going to settle down and get a house on Revolutionary Road. 3.
Leonardo
2.
DiCaprio.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio.
I was going to say Daniel Craig. Fair.
Well done.
Yeah, that was. I had a.
It was Bond movies were screaming at me, but fair.
Very
Leonardo
nice.
DiCaprio.
Which can you say which movies that he has referenced for you to have got the answer?
I didn't write them down, so you'd have to start again. You have to read the first four again.
Well, yeah. If you run back through the sentences,
I
can
don't
you
care
then
about that.
tell us
Yeah.
which movies they are?
Well, there you go. When I get on the second or third one, I knew it was Matt Damon or Leonardo DiCaprio. So there you go. Oh, I know. One of the things I've been thinking about is the time frame of my podcast. Now, overall, I wanted my podcast to be an hour, and I talked about cutting it down to a half hour. And then also with the TikToks, YouTube channels I watch and the sci-fi remix, I decided I'm not going to worry about a set time frame. I'm going to have them be a certain length. I want to be so long, but if it turns out to be short, it turns out to be short. But my goal is to have the podcast at least be close to an hour. It doesn't have to be over an hour, but close to it. I would say the minimum maybe 40, 45 minutes, but I want it to be kind of long. I may even start doing a half-hour podcast. Because there's sometimes, like I started watching other podcasts. Well, I watch a lot of podcasts. Then it dawned on me, some of these podcasts are an hour, some are 2 hours. And people, they vary from podcast to podcast. And they don't really have a set time limit, a lot of them. Some do. Some shoot it like a real TV show and they have their time limit. Others don't. They just shoot it and what they get is what they get. So I think I'm going to start doing that. Just what I get is what I get. So, yeah. So I'm not going to worry about the time limit as much. But yeah, I do want to go back to creating my list of 20 things to talk about. Because I did do better when I had 20 things to talk about. But like I said, with the anxiety coming back, I think that's what kept blocking me. But maybe this weekend I'll sit down and create something. Like I said, I'm working on my book. Hopefully I'll get it together, get it published, get it out there, and move on to the next book. The graphic novel, I think, is permanently on hold. I don't know what's going on, why I can't draw. I got a huge mental block. I'll look at the drawing stuff, and I'm just like, Literally, it's it. I don't know what's going on. I need to just... I want to draw, but I don't want to draw, which is weird. Maybe I'll figure it out. Once I get it figured out, I'll get through it. But Yeah, it's just always choking to death on a Twizzler, and then that was weird. Yeah, but well, I think I'm gonna, since I'm not gonna worry about the time limit anymore, and just post what I got from now on. To anyone to everyone who's been watching, thank you. There's one thing. Maybe I will start drawing because I do want to do some stuff. I talked about it before. I got some. I need to just, maybe I'll just sit down and start drawing. I think I need to take a week off of work. Actually, I think I'm burned out on life in general. I wish I could just like pause and take a week off. Just abandon everything, then come back. But there's no pause button in real life, unfortunately. But to anyone, once again, as I try to end this, so to everyone who's watching, thank you for watching. I'm Felix, and you guys have a nice day.